Hey, it's Stormy from Stormy Be Life, and I make videos about transitioning from cosmetology to the profession of information technology. And so I decided to start blogging about my journey because it's definitely not an easy one. I would like to encourage anyone who's trying to do the same thing to not give up. And if I can offer any suggestions based on my experience, how I was able to kind of like transition, or some of the things that I've done or that I'm in the process of doing that can encourage you to do the same thing so that you can maybe transition from a career that you're in now, transition from cosmetology, maybe barbering, or whatever that area may be. I just know personally, for me, I have a significant amount of years in the cosmetology industry, and I know how difficult it is to transition out of that, especially when you've been doing it for a long time. So this video is going to be about the reasons why I decided to transition from cosmetology to technology. And so I have a few questions that I'm going to answer, and I hope that they can help someone out there who is also in the midst of doing the same thing. So just a little bit of background about me. I've been doing hair for about probably about a little over 25 years now. Started out as a very young, like preteen. I was maybe about 12 years old when I started doing a lot of hair in the neighborhood, and mainly I started out with the finger waves and French froze back in the day. And so just from there, I just kind of like, needed to make money as I got older, and a good friend of mine suggested that I should do hair, but deep down inside I really wanted to be a carpenter. But I didn't have like anyone around me showing me how to do carpentry. So basically, I ended up kind of connecting with some barbers in the neighborhood, and a lot of times the barbers had no problem with teaching me things. So that's really how I really started to get my foot in the door as a teenager. And then I finally got a full-time job when I was about 18 or 19 years old, working in a hair salon while I was in cosmetology school. And basically, I just worked as a cosmetologist from there on out. I worked in that field for probably about 15 years. Then I retired because it became like very heavy on my body. And I had to retire and kind of take care of my health for a while. And around, I think it was maybe around 2012 when I ended up getting a job. I worked for the federal government for a while. I actually ended up obtaining an IT internship. Within that IT internship, I got the position. So I ended up obtaining an IT internship after graduating from college. So I went to college later in life, and I was probably about in like my early 20s or something when I went to college. So I obtained a degree in video production. That's really where I was able to hone in a lot of my technical skills, because the school was very technical. It was an art school, but it was more of a technical art school. So everything that we did was just like on the computer list. And so basically I had to do everything. So we had to learn everything in our major. So as a video production major, we're basically making film digitally. So I had to be the videographer, I was the editor, I had to learn how to do web design, and basically learn how to do audio thing. So basically that's really where I got the massive amount of technical skills that I gained. And during this time, I wasn't doing hair full time because I had retired. I retired so that I could go to college and kind of like take my life in a different direction. After graduating from college, I relocated back to Philadelphia. The job market was really crazy. That probably was around like 2008 or something like that. So right now we're in 2004. So this is actually my third recession. The first one was during 9/11, then 2008. And so I've been through like all the last three recessions that we have experienced. I experienced three in my lifetime. And so I've kind of been through the ups and downs with the cosmetology, with just like the job market, and with gaining, always trying to keep my skills and stuff up to date. Just kind of trying to hone in on what I wanted to do, and that was definitely IT. And basically, I did not have really enough experience in IT for me to be able to jump into it, but I was lucky enough to get an IT internship based on the fact that I learned Adobe Acrobat. So, which is really ironic. So if anybody knows, Adobe Acrobat is really not that challenging. But when I applied for some jobs in the federal government, They actually wanted me because I knew Adobe Acrobat, and so I was able to intern in one of the information technology departments in the federal government throughout the summer. I really enjoyed it. I was able to do a lot. They were surprised that I knew how to do a lot while I was working there, and they wanted to keep me on board. However, the department I was in was merging, and so I ended up having to just apply for whatever job I could get. And so basically I ended up completing the internship, and like about a month later or something, I did get a permanent job, but it wasn't in IT. So let's get down to business, the questions at hand. So the first question I'm sure that many of you have is why I switched to technology from cosmetology. Well, the reason is because I just always had this like strong attraction or been so intrigued by technology. The first time I used a computer was in first grade. It was a very, very, very long time ago, and I'm not going to tell you anything other than the fact that I am Generation X. So it was a long time ago, but in the first grade, we had Apple computers in my elementary school, and so for instance, we would have like little different reading groups or groups and stuff like that that we would go into, and after we finished our assignments, if we finished early, we could go onto the computer, and mainly we played like Hangman. So back then it was like a tan computer with the rainbow apple and a black background with green text. All the text on the computer was green, and we would get to play the Hangman video game on the computer while we waited. So from that point, I was always intrigued by computers and very much into technology. But technology has always been something that I really appreciate, because I just love the way you can use technology to solve problems, and so many different things that just kind of like put us in a good position to do a lot of preventative measures. I'm really a natural problem solver, so just technology and advancing and always learning new things, always learning cool ways to do things has always been very, very intriguing to me. So that's the reason why I decided, at this time where I feel like I'm getting close to another retirement, not really a full retirement. I don't think I will ever stop doing hair, and I still am doing clients and maybe sometimes taking on new clients, but I probably won't ever stop doing it. I really do it like very, 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 very part-time now. And so that's very convenient for me. It's very good. It's more so like a side hustle now. So with me kind of having like this open time, I'm like, okay, I'm totally ready to get into IT and just go into my third career actually, because I also was a UX, well, I am a UX designer. I can't say I am a UX designer. So my last position, I was a UX design engineer, and basically, if you don't know what a UX design engineer is, we basically design like the graphics for software. So any applications you may see on your phone, any buttons and everything, if you're on YouTube right now, any of the subscribe button and play buttons and everything like that is UX that is developed by a UX designer. And so I was a UX designer, and I really enjoyed it. The only thing that I kind of like put me at a standstill with it is the fact that there's not as many jobs in UX as it is in IT. And I like to be able to learn new things, do different things. So after I became a UX designer, I did it for probably about 7 years. And after getting into UX, from what I see, I can either be a senior level UX designer or a manager. And I wanted to just kind of like bring on new skills. I just really love learning new things and get engaging in new technologies. So so with that, kind of being like, okay, I'm kind of like growing from this design and graphic type of technical experience that I have, and I just want to get a little more deeper into kind of like cybersecurity, troubleshooting, solving problems, get into the cloud with virtual machines and everything like that's really kind of like where I'm at. It could be just a different level of maturity of kind of like maturing from design and going to even more, I guess, a little more serious and deeper part of technology. So I'm really, really ready for that now in my life. And so the next question is, let me put my glasses on. Okay. Number 2. I think I answered that question already. Do I still service my hair clients? Yes, I do have a very exclusive clientele that I do, just a couple of clients a month, and that's really enough to kind of sustain myself while I am looking for full-time work. So I do still service clients, and I will probably continue to service them once I work full-time, because it will not conflict with my full-time work schedule, and plus my clients will most likely not allow me to stop servicing them. And so the next question I have is, what area of tech am I going into? So currently I am studying and developing myself to become a cloud engineer. So that is what I would like to do. Cloud engineer, cloud security, anything, that has to do with cybersecurity. But I really want to work in the cloud, because that's really the direction of the future, a job for the future. So I've always been the type of person that's a forward thinker. So, cloud has been something that has really been intriguing to me. I've always kind of worked in the cloud, like, working remotely with VPNs when I was working for the government, and I teleworked, and also when I worked on a Mac computer in my job as a UX designer, with certain things I couldn't do on Mac, so we had to download and deploy virtual machines on our Macs so that we can remote into Windows computer virtual machine and do some operations that we can only do on Windows that we weren't able to do on Mac computers. So I will be going into trainings that will really be geared and focused on cloud engineering. Yes. So the next question I have is, where am I getting my training from? So currently, my most recent training has been from Course Careers. And Course Careers has an information technology program that's taught by Josh Madakar. And I've been following Josh for a really long time, but the reason that I decided to go into Course Careers IT program was because it really was, and it's labeled as IT support, but to me it's way beyond that. So basically it's focused in Azure. So right away in that program, you're getting cloud experience, because everything that we did in the course was done in the cloud through Azure. When I ended up finding out that Course Careers had a course that basically, Josh designed, that everything is done in Azure, it was just like a no-brainer. I was just like, that's the course I'm taking. My husband went ahead and he was like, yeah, that's the course you want to do. Go ahead and do it. Because he was looking actually at another course for me, and that course taught Azure, but it was $1,000. And this course, I told him, I said, this is $500. I said, I've been following this guy. He's really, really good. He's very knowledgeable. And everything that he's doing is basically geared towards you getting a job. And so not only was I getting the Azure training, but also we had the job training, because it's actually, Course Careers is actually a boot camp. It's an online boot camp, but not one that you have to do in their time frame. You could end it earlier, or you could do it at your own pace. And so for $500, I was just like, it's a no-brainer. Plus I got the $50 off as well. So if you're looking to get into Course Careers, I have a coupon code at the bottom where you can also get $50 off. So I ended up paying $450 for the course. And so I actually just finished the course a few days ago. I got my final results. I passed my final. I got an 89% on the final. I could have taken again to see if I could score higher. However, I just said, the 89, it was really a lot of work. I finished the course in 4 weeks. I think I purchased it on July 4th and I finished it on August the 4th. And so I made sure that I did all the projects, and I ended up putting them all on my portfolio. So that was the other part of it, having a portfolio, having tangible work to show within my job search that I do know how to use Azure. I do know how to work in the cloud. So that was really basically, the reason why I decided to utilize this technical training for my education in information technology. And I'm really excited about the journey. So I'm in the job market now. I'm working with a career coach as well. And Course Careers also have career coaches that you can use to help you as you transition into IT or a higher part of IT. And I'm coming from a a different area of technology and a different trade as well. So for me, it's going to be a little harder. So basically, yeah, I'm using a career coach right now, and that is where I obtain the training. What is the best way to start a tech career for a novice? So if you are a fellow cosmetologist, barber, or any tradesperson who does not have any technical background, but you at least have basic computer skills, then I would probably say you could start with course careers because it is a good introduction, but it's like a IT crash course for the theory at the beginning. That would be somewhere for you to begin, especially if you are the type of individual that's very curious and you like to dig deeper into subject areas. So I would just say if you start with course careers and you don't have any type of technical background other than basic computer, now you got to have a basic understanding of just using a computer to begin. Then I would say you can start with course careers, but just really be open to doing a lot of learning, because IT is just basically like you're going to be learning for the rest of your life, because you always have to stay abreast with new technologies. But I think that if you're really, really serious about this, like course careers would definitely be a great starting point, because once you get in there and you kind of get an understanding of what's going on and you get your first job, you can just keep building on top of that. So I think that that could be a place to start. Now, if you are someone who is just like, you may have computer anxiety, but you want to get into computers, you're not really sure how to turn on the PC, where to begin, or anything like that, then I would say you can start at a community college, because community colleges in colleges they have to be able to break things down to novices anyway. So that's why professors kind of have to go through a lot of education, because they need to be able to break down complex things in order for everyone to be able to understand it. So they need to put it into layman terms. And so with them doing that, you can really get the step by steps that you need. So I would start out with just like information tech, Internet of Things course, where you learn the Microsoft Office, where you learn just like the basics of the computer. So that's usually the introductory course that you have to take when you first start college anyway, before you can go into other technical courses. So I think that would be a great start. And then if you're just ready to just kind of dive in, you feel like, you can go ahead and dive in, and you may not want to do course careers. You may want to do something that's a little like deeper within everything that you're learning, rather than just like a crash course. Then I would say try to find like an A+ course in your area. Some places offer it for that training for free based on sometimes your income or something like that, or you can do one for that's really not that expensive also at your community college. Or if your local community college doesn't offer it, then maybe one of the surrounding ones in a county that's near where you live at may have a program. So I would say start there, because those are going to be the least expensive routes but the most effective ones for you to be able to really gain those skills. Now, I will say that when I was in college, they also had a lot of technical colleges. I don't know if they still exist, like Lincoln Technical Institute, and they offer IT program where you were able to sit for the CompTIA A+ certification. And so they taught you how to fix computers and everything, and deploy applications and onto the computer, and do a lot of troubleshooting as well, on software and hardware. So those are some options, but that might be a little bit more expensive, because usually those are like technical school. The technical schools are kind of like a 1 year amount, the same amount you would pay for like a 1 year of college, and you have to get student loans. And if you just if you're financial aid, or if you don't qualify for grants, it doesn't cover everything, then it can get really expensive. So you can also maybe look at some boot camps, but it just depends. Boot camps are usually designed for people who kind of have a lot of skills already. That's why I really like course careers with the IT program, because someone who has basic computer knowledge can go in and really learn about IT in a quick way, and then you can indulge in it a little more. Because even though there's a lot that I know after finishing a course, I'm still advancing in Azure. So I'm not just like stopping with the information that I learned in the course. Now I want to get certified in Azure Fundamentals, the AZ 900, and then after that, I'm looking forward to getting certified in AZ 104, which is Azure Administrator Certificate. So that's something that I'm looking forward to. And Josh Medikar also has a cybersecurity course where the um, he also teaches all the technology and skills and everything that you're learning in Azure. So that's like an advanced course, and that's also $497 or $500 or something like that. So after doing the IT course, then you can transition to his cybersecurity course, and it's kind of like one is building off of the other. So you learn the fundamentals of Azure, and I looked at his cybersecurity course, and in that course is basically teaching you what you need to learn in order to get the Azure administrative certificate. And that can definitely be a plus if you already have the skills before taking the course. I mean, before taking the exam. That can really be a big up. So you could take the course, get that knowledge, get the job training and everything that you need, and then sit for the certification. So it's kind of like a win-win situation there. So with that being said, if you are interested in getting into the technical field, even if it's not in information technology, Course Careers also offers a lot of different areas. They have data analytics, they have tech sales, which is really big. You do not have to be technical for tech sales. Tech sales is a very popular career right now, and I heard that it's really growing. So you can make about six figures in that career, and don't let the word sales kind of deter you or anything, because I believe that they begin with a base salary and the commission is actually on top of your salary. Course Careers also has a software engineering course that I think I will be taking after. I don't know if I'm going to do cybersecurity next. I'm definitely going to do the cybersecurity, but I don't know if I want to jump into that next or software engineering, because I do have a little bit of coding training, but I'm not an efficient coder. So I would like to give Course Careers a try because I really like the way that they teach. So I believe that if I get a good instructor, that I can become an efficient coder. So I will be looking at the software engineering, and then they also have accounting, human resources. I may be missing something else. I know I said data analytics, but definitely check them out in the link below, because information technology is not the only area that you can transition into for tech. So tech is massive. So there's so many different jobs that you can do. So if you're interested in making a career change or advancing in your career, then like I said, click the link below. If you decide to take a course, you get $50 off whatever course you take. They all are different prices depending on how long they take. I know the software engineer, I think it's like $7.99. That takes a little longer, but like I said, I'm really happy with the transition that I've made and the training that I've chosen thus far. So I'm looking forward to what's next. I'm in the job market like really, really hard right now. So I'm doing everything that I can to transition and obtain a new job. So stay tuned for that video, and I will be reporting once I find a new job. But for now, like and subscribe.
Today's video is proudly sponsored by Course Careers. If you're looking to break into information technology but need to bridge some skills gaps, check out Course Careers and start building the expertise you need. Use the link below and get $50 off your course today.